MTV, your voice, your stories, your channel. Raila Odinga, the Handshake Mastermind. For decades, one man has stood at the center of Kenya's most dramatic political moments, challenging regimes, shaking governments, and forcing even the most powerful presidents to the negotiating table. Raila Odinga, from President Moi to Kibaki, Uhuru, and now Ruto, Raila has mastered the art of political survival, wielding influence that sends shockwave through every administration. But what makes him so powerful? Why do Kenya's presidents, despite their initial resistance, always find themselves at the mercy of Raila's political maneuvers? His return to Kenya after the failed AU bid has reignited political speculation. Is Raila planning a new resistance, a new handshake, or the ultimate political comeback in 2027? This week, we go deep into the enigma that is Raila Odinga, his handshakes, his battles, his unmatched influence. And on the hot seat, we have Professor Shauri, full of wisdom and insight, peeling back the layers and unmasking Raila's hidden card just after his return from the AU stage. What does Raila's next move mean for Kenya's political future? Subscribe now, share this video, and let's break it down together. Tell a friend to tell a friend. MTV is about to expose Kenya's greatest political chess player.
Professor, welcome. Raila is back after the AU elections. I won't say he failed, but he did his best, because in life there's no failure. You try it out and trying out and trying out. So he did his best. If Raila had won this thing, what were the benefits of Kenya?
Yes, being a chief executive of the whole Africa region is very powerful. Remember, the Africa Union Commission is the highest organ that makes decisions for Africa in terms of what goes where for Africa, especially, for example, in terms of infrastructure and connectivity. So having one of your own at the helm of the seat, definitely you have your eyes sitting at the highest office of the region. And that is definitely advantageous in terms of business, in terms of infrastructural development, even in terms of diplomacy. In terms of diplomacy, because Africa diplomacy, the head of diplomacy is there. Even in terms of resolving conflicts, by the way, because you need support from other African countries. One of the projects that is funded by AU organizations are in the field of agriculture, for example, food security. Food security is key agenda for the Africa Union. And then road and rail connectivity within African countries. And of course, the biggest project is peace and stability. It has to intervene all the time to try and resolve issues all the time. And you know, it is like the appellate court for the Africa region, because it's like Africa has got its own sub-regions. Remember the East African Community? Yes. President Ruto is the chair of the commission, the SADC, the ECOWAS in West Africa. So all this now come under the Africa Union Commission. You can see the power, the amount of power, by being on top of the sub-regions. Yeah, it's like a presidency of its own, and not presidency of a country, but presidency of a continent. Very powerful. But I don't know whether we dreamt so early to be president of the continent. I don't know. No. You know, sometimes you can dream you're flying, but you're not flying. You're still on your bed. When you wake up, you realize, oh, I didn't have the wings that I had. It was a dream.
But it was a good dream.
Definitely, yes.
Raila and win the election. How would Kenya be?
Kenya would have been left orphaned.
Orphaned why?
Because Raila is the opposition. Ever. Raila is the one who's the opposition. The opposition is a big name, but the opposition is only one person. Raila Amolo Odinga. Baba. Without Baba, there is no opposition. And it's not only opposition, by the way. Without Baba, there is no peace and stability. Remember, it was for Baba who decided to shake hands with Uhuru. Then we saw peace and stability. Remember, it is Baba who again decided to shake hand with Ruto after the Gen Z adabracadabra.
It was Baba who had to shake hands with Raila, with
even Kibaki, even Moi. Yes,
Moi.
yes. Going back in history, even Moi.
Came Kibaki.
Yes.
He came Uhuru.
Yes.
Now Ruto. 4 presidents.
Yes. Shaking his hand. He has a magical hand. His hand is made of, I don't know. Can put your own guess.
Now, let's go deep about this thing. Why is Raila always in the limelight of politics? Why not someone else? And why does he not win?
Raila is a master politician. And in politics, there are only 2 ultimate goals. Either you win or you influence power. So it doesn't matter. When he wins, well and good. If he doesn't win, he influences power. And you have put it very correctly. He had to shake hand with Moi. He had to shake hand with Kibaki. He had to shake hand with Uhuru Kenyatta. He has to shake hand with Ruto. They cannot be in the office without Raila. So Raila wins in both ways, whether as a loser or as a winner.
So the shaking hand is a check?
Definitely yes. Without shaking his hand, you have problems. You can't run your government. You have to bring him. You have to come up with some innovation, some idea. You can call it broad-based, or you can call it wide-based, you can call it extended-based government. But you have to survive. Without Raila, you can't survive.
You can't survive.
So losing Raila to the African Union, it was good for Kenya, placing ourselves and providing our leadership for Africa, but it would have been a big loss for Kenya. By the way, no amount of serious leadership consideration exists outside a burning home. Your home is burning and you're telling others, oh, I will lead you. We'll ask you. Look back. Your bedroom is burning where you do your things.
Was that a factor of consideration during the elections?
Definitely yes. It was one of the critical factors for consideration. Kenya was burning. Kenya was burning in terms of the Gen Z, and that's why he came up as a solution. So leaving Ruto alone is already problematic for its own sake. That's why Kenyans were not happy, by the way. It is very interesting. Raila was going for a big position for Africa, but Kenyans are praying every morning he should not get it. Now you can see, Kenya was in a bad shape, and it still is in a bad shape. We are not yet out of the woods.
Did Raila not see this?
Definitely, probably, his advisors told him. But you know, Raila is, as always, very ambitious. And he, of course, running for the seat, and with the support of the president, then it means that he's having an opportunity to be visible in the region. You can see the way he was flying everywhere, meeting all the presidents from the different African countries, having dialogue. He was having fun. He was enjoying himself. Huh? Probably next time we need to find out who was funding the campaign budget. If the government was funding, so even me, I'm told today to run for the African Union, I will go and start flying. But the consequences, we lost our money, and probably we lost the seat, and probably we also lost our respect. When you lose, definitely you lose. You give your respect.
Some close countries, friendly countries to Kenya, did not vote for Raila. Tanzania did not vote for Raila. It's being said on social media that President Uhuru Kenyatta should not vote for Raila.
Maybe true, maybe wrong.
Wrong. Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, the East African, let's say, at the final leg, because they went up to 6 rounds. The 5th round, he stepped out. Because already, I think technically he was knocked out.
It is possible. It is possible from my hypothesis that you must fix your home before you want to go and fix the homes of other people. If your home is burning, will you focus on your home so that you can put the fire off, or will you get out of your home?
Friends and viewers all over the world, you are watching this program. We are trying to bisect, analyze the effects and the merits of the AU seats. If Raila had won these seats, what would have happened to Kenya? Let's break for a commercial break. When we are back to Kenya. What next? for Raila. Stay tuned.
MTV, your voice, your stories, your channel. MTV Media, your trusted partner in media production. At MTV Media, we are committed to delivering top quality media services tailored to your needs. We specialize in video production, documentary filmmaking, photography, social media campaigns. Our most recent assignment was covering the burial of the father of Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate, showcasing our expertise in professional event coverage. Telephone receiver, contact us today for exceptional media services. We deliver beyond expectations. MTV, your voice, your stories, your channel.
Raila is back in the country with a wave of moving around to get views from his supporters all over the country. Alianza na Nyanza, akaenda Homa Bay, akafanya 20 years yake ya ODM party. But it is true, ODM is the biggest party, single party in the country, which has remained united. And that's a fact. Other parties, they have come for presidential election for 5 years, it's a briefcase. Apart from Wiper, also they have tried. I think it's Wiper and ODM, the prominent parties we have in the country, which have remained united. DP ilipotea. There was TNA, it was swallowed to become Jubilee. There was URP, it was swallowed to become Jubilee. So Jubilee, it is a collection of many parties. So only two parties which we call them now are in power. It's ODM and Wiper. Raila is moving up and down with some few threats that is listening to the people. What's your take?
You know, after Raila went to Ethiopia for the seat, you know, he hurt many people.
Yes, there were calls, don't go.
Yes, he hurt many people. So in my view, what he calls a consultation with the people is a healing process.
He's healing
He's healing his people. That, look guys, I went there, but things didn't work out very well. I am sorry, I am back.
He says home is best.
Yes, home is best always.
Now I'm delighted to be back home. You see, east, west, north, south, home is best. I feel very, very happy and delighted to be back to Kenya.
So it's much more of a debriefing and healing process for his supporters, in as much as he's framing it as a public participation, as public consultation. Yeah, putting it legally makes a lot of sense. Article 10 of the Constitution on good governance, public participation is key. So it's very clever. Politicians are always clever. Politicians are always ahead of us.
They take advantage of
the disorganization
of the community.
Yes, they're always clever. So he has put it in a way that it looks like he's consulting. But politics is about personal interest sold as public interest.
It begins as personal interest,
sold as public,
and then packaged out as
public
interest.
Yes. So we get deluded that actually they are fighting for our rights. They are fighting for their own rights, that they have turned them into ours.
It goes all around handshakes. He has been doing it alone.
Definitely, yes. Without even doing any consultation. Boom, boom, he's at Harambe House, shaking hands with and the country is like, oh, everybody is clapping. Yeah. Kenyans really fear. They fear war. They want peace. And politicians are using it. You agitate for your rights, for your positions, you are threatened a little bit. Because you fear war, you go down.
You go down. And
yes.
We accept what we have agreed.
But we are not saying we should fight because we are civilized, but we are saying major countries that have made it all over the world, they could not avoid conflict. For me as a sociologist, conflict is one of the modes of social interaction. Germany had a serious history with Hitler. The American Civil War. Britain, the people are fighting. Come home in Rwanda, Tutsis and Hutus. Rwanda is better than Kenya now. They fought. They killed each other. We're not saying we should fight and kill each other, but we can learn how to do it better in terms of how we resolve our conflict without going the violent way. But we cannot single out conflict as part of the development agenda. Conflict is not bad, by the way. Conflict is good.
Conflicts are good.
Yeah. Consensus is bad. If every time you're saying yes, I do it, it is bad because it doesn't bring development. Conflict is also bad.
So Raila being in the opposition is the best thing for this country?
Yes, conflict, consensus. Conflict, handshake.
Yeah.
Conflict, broad-based. Conflict, handshake. Conflict, BBI. Conflict. Kenya is at the best place in terms of playing with the stage of how to manage, politics and conflict and consensus.
What do you expect after the tour and the public participation of Raila? What do you think he will come up with? Will he fight the president, or will he support the president, or will he go by the masses?
Raila is charismatic. Raila knows how to manufacture his popularity and his visibility. As I've told you, he's on a healing journey. Wait for a surprise. Wait for a surprise. I don't want to open the surprise, but wait for a surprise. Surprise is coming. A very big surprise is coming. And many people will be surprised. And some probably will be heartbroken. Yeah. That's how it will be. We are just putting it as it is. This is politics.
Will it be a popular opinion in the surprise?
It will be a personal opinion, iced, like a public choice. Yes. After I've consulted with the people. Bam! We are there.
The answer is there.
We are there. And the music will be there. And people will be dancing.
I can guess the surprise. Because, you see what, as you said earlier, the president is the eye-old of everything. And you shaking hands with the president, the eye-old of everything, you have everything you want. Most likely, Raila will place his demands on the table. For me, to support you for this election, and after election, this is what my people are saying. That's the language we use. This is what my people, the Republic, is saying. Give me the deputy president, give me the prime minister, give me several slots of the cabinet positions.
Definitely, yes. And Raila is very clever because he has been testing this ground. He has been testing this ground very carefully. The broad-based government, he has already made some of those demands. He has already started it on an experimental basis in the broad-based government.
Yes, already we have around 4.
Yeah, Mbadi is there, Joho is there, Oparanya is there, Wandai is there. Yeah, so what stops him from saying now, now?
The treasury guy is called?
Mbadi. John Mbadi is there. So what stops him from asking for more? So there are two things. The surprise can go towards a really broad-based government. Because now it's not really, it is broad-based in the very minimum kind of thinking. Really broad-based, which will look like a coalition government.
A coalition government.
Yeah.
Most likely that will happen.
If that will not happen, definitely the other possibility is on the table. The card is very clear, and probably that will be the card. Remember, Raila has built a legacy of trying to tell Kenyans that I can do you better than anybody else. From Moi's time, through Kibaki's time, through Uhuru's time, that he can do the best. Remember that. And I don't think that this is an opportunity for him to lose that. Especially now when the country is really in the high seas. The country is in the high seas, with a lot of waves. Waves pushing this way, funding model of your university students. Wave are swinging this way, sharp.
Many things.
Waves are singing this way, housing levy,
Housing levy.
you know, waves are singing this way, NSSF, you know. So many people are hurting. I don't think Raila will be so naive to take all those hurting feelings to his side. It must produce something concrete for him. And this is where the surprise is. Wait for the announcement and you will come looking for me and tell me, yeah, you say it. I'm saying it. It's a surprise. How can you build your house for decades and then you come destroy it with one stone?
And because he has built his consistency
Yes.
for about 20 years,
Yes.
saying he can be the best.
Yes. And now he comes and says, okay, I'm joining
So and so.
the messy waters, will swim together. He will be drowned. He will be drowned. If that is the choice he will make, that will be the last nail on his coffin. Pa! Political nail. Kenya is hurting. Kenya is looking for leadership. Kenyans are crying. And that's why they celebrated when he lost the African Union seat. Because they know now, in the Islamic world, they say, Alhamdulillah, Raila didn't get it. Yeah.
Our savior is back.
Our savior is back. But he has to do a lot, remember, because I said a lot of his supporters got hurt. But he's very clever, he knows, he's a politician, he's moving around. And
as we continue talking, keep subscribing, sharing this live. Let's talk to us, support us, talk to us, share with us your feelings about what is happening or what might happen in the next 2-3 days, because we expect this week Raila to speak or to share what the supporters, quotes and quotes, have decided for him to do the next move. We have Raila on one side. We have Ruto in the middle. At the far end, we have another wing coming up. At the moment, it looks confusion. They are not decided what to do. There is Gachagua. There is the Kisii cartels. I call them cartels. Senator Onyoka, who is pushing for Matiang'i, and governor of Natembea, pushing also for Matiang'i. And we have seen also Wamalwa and Kioni and the Jubilee Party pushing for Matiang'i. So that is a third force coming up. We have seen also Martha Karua has joined that bandwagon. Kalonzo is still hanging. All Kamba leaders, they have said no. 3 forces now: Raila, Ruto, and the new alliance, which has no name. How can this new alliance be of threat to Ruto?
you know, politics is a game of numbers. Any good politician will look at where numbers are. And it is the numbers that will sway people to move towards that direction. So it's really a calculative move of who has the numbers now. So when you analyze Ruto and the numbers he has now, he needs a lot of backup. One of the 2 backups is critical for him. He needs to pull in one side. And that's the reason why he left one side and he picked the other side in the name of broad-based government.
Oh, yes.
It's all about numbers. And his vision was that if Baba would win the African Union, then automatically the Nyanza region would be his, and therefore would not have problems. Remember, historically, this country was split in a very interesting way, because then President Moi capitalized on the smaller tribes, consolidated them together, and he was in power for 34 years.
24 years.
Sorry, 24 years, using the smaller tribes. So it's the same strategy that Ruto was trying to patch up, so that he knows the big tribe goes, the Mulima, then he can still use the same model, his trainer, his mentor, his father in politics, used so that he can be able to survive. That's why even his trip around here, you can see that he was patching these small tribes.
Small tribes together.
Yeah. That is the thing he's trying to do, the glue. That if we don't have the bigger tribes, then the smaller tribes, if they come together, then we can move forward
to them. Northeastern.
Yes.
The first time you see a president walking in the road in Northeastern.
Yes, and it was...
It has never happened.
Leave alone the road. Northeastern had a big threat, but the president decided to go there anyway. That should tell you that signals something, how important consolidating the small tribal groups is.
At the barracks?
Probably. As a president, you know, he has many options. Probably even he was sleeping in somebody's house.
By the way.
Yes. So that you look for him in the barracks, he's not there.
He's not there.
Probably he's in Duale's house. Definitely, yes. Yeah. But probably was flying back. What's the problem? He's the CEO of the country. He can fly back in the morning. Remember, some of the data and some of the Northeastern was nullified in court.
I remember.
For the census data.
Why was the judgment done now? Why was that judgment done now?
It tells you something very interesting about politics and numbers. It's very critical. It's very critical. So if you don't play with the numbers, you're out, because the winner will be announced on the basis of numbers.
Now, let's come back to Matiang'i. Matiang'i, he has not gone public himself saying he will do the ballots. But there's a big push from many people. Can it be a threat?
You know, the problem with Kenyans is that Kenyans are cowards. We are cowards. And that's why when one of us comes out to shout,
we listen
to speak truth to power, then we celebrate him as a leader.
As a leader.
And we already want him to lead us.
As a savior.
Probably we have been oppressed so much as a people.
To an extent,
to the extent that anybody who can speak to power
can challenge power.
Yes, he's a leader. Remember when Joho challenged power here the other time, the whole coast was like, So now it's the same mentality that we are carrying with Matiang'i, because Matiang'i is tough speaking and whatever, so we think that, he can be a good president. Presidency is a different ball game. Yes, presidency is a different ball game. It requires different kind of skills, which is a mix of many things: diplomacy, a mix of intelligence, a mix of witty. Must also be clever, like a hare, so that you can be able to run around things.
I hear from some quarters that the choice of Kenyan president is being decided by the superpowers sometimes.
Definitely, yes, because they have their interests. That's why they colonized us. They don't want their interests to cease. Some of them don't have food, by the way, they grow food around here. Their soils are tired and they grow food here. Even here at the coast, we have 1 million acres at Galana Gulalo. Definitely, outsiders have got their interests, they've got their investments. So and by the way, Kenya is also a strategic partner, security partner, because of its easy accessibility from all corners of the region. So it's a security partner for many of these European countries. So they must know who sits on the seat of power. Yes.
How well can we twist him?
Yes, to our own interests. And interestingly, something which is a door open for many of the superpowers is that Kenya operates a multilateral democratic policy. Anybody who comes and talks to us nicely, we dine and wine with them. We are not taking a left or a right wing direction. We are open. This time we are dining with America. all the way to this country that we took our soldiers.
Is it Cuba?
Not Cuba. We took our Haiti. Yeah, we are in Haiti. So we went to bed. Another time we are with the British. Another time we are with the Germans. We are with the Chinese.
I remember very well. During Ruto's regime.
Yes.
Uhuru regime.
Yes, even we went to Cuba and got doctors from Cuba and brought them to Kenya. So
you still have those doctors, by the way?
They're still there.
They're still there in Kenya?
Yes, they're still there. The relationship still continues. While our doctors are in the streets, test of time. We have said it very correctly that since Moi's time, Raila has been a ticking bomb. He still ticks. And that's why Kenyans didn't want him to get the Africa Union Commission chairmanship. He still ticks. He still speaks his Baba. You've heard some of the politicians during the ODM meeting that whatever Baba says, it goes. Baba tells us go right, we go right. Baba tells us go left. It is the same mantra. Without Baba, we don't know whether to go left or to go right. Baba must be there. Sometimes you even think that Baba must be immortal. If Baba disappears, we don't say he disappears, then we don't know whether to go right or left. Baba has to give us the direction. Tumemzoea Baba. Hata akiondoka akirudi nasema Baba, when you are away.
In a situation whereby Raila decides to vie for presidency, Ruto goes for presidency, Matiang'i goes for presidency, and Kalonzo goes for presidency. Those are 4 candidates going for presidency. What's your scenario?
Very beautiful scenario. It demonstrates maturity of democracy. Democracy is space for everyone to put their ideas and let the people decide. Definitely, it will lead us to a coalition government, which we have had it before. We had a coalition government. They call it Nusumkate or wherever. Even in Germany, as we speak, the winner who got a lot of votes, only 30%, they need to negotiate and talk. Because, by the way, a coalition government is the best government. Why? Because every of those candidates will have their manifestos.
Inside that government.
It doesn't mean when one wins, the other manifestos are useless. They are ideas. So when people form a coalition, those ideas from many of those candidates patched together into a common agenda makes it better than one idea of one person. Kidole kimoja kinavunja chao. Sasa basi vikiwa vidole vinne, the better for Kenya.
Better for Kenya.
Yes.
Give us straight on this camera your parting shots.
We are living in an interesting time, and Kenyans must watch very carefully. 2027 is coming, and 2027 is big, and is actually the deciding factor for the future of this country. The more the candidates will have 2027, the better the choice that Kenyans can make, and the better the democratic space and demonstration of maturity as a country. Let us watch the unfolding events from the Matiang'i proposers, from Kalonzo's bandwagon, from Raila's team, and definitely from Ruto's team. It will be an interesting time. The Chinese says, may we live to see interesting times.
Mtazamaji, huyo alikuwa ni Profesa Shauri akileta ushauri wake wa busara kuhusu mambo yanayojiri, yatakayojiri na mambo ambayo yanaendelea kwa sasa. Kwa tunaongea kuhusu mambo ya Raila, kurudi kwa Raila kutoka AU, Kenya itaamua nini, yeye ataamua nini, na Kenya inaelekea wapi baada ya tangazo lake ambalo linatarajiwa wiki hii. Mtazamaji, mimi ni James Mulei na kipindi hiki kinakuja kwako baada ya matayarisho mengi sana. Kuna cameramen wako hapa, kuna script writers wako pale, kuna, in fact, Prof, we need now to start to have people who will be dressing us. We need people in charge of our wardrobes. Guys, this TV is growing. We need help. If you can volunteer your services to be coming and dressing us, mtupake mapoda. We need volunteers. I cannot do it alone. This now is growing overboard. I need people to come now and support, and we grow together. I am the editor. I edit these things alone. I have got my cameraman here. We do graphics together. We do color correction, many things. And it is me to think what to do next. I need people to come and help me. Let us grow together. Let us believe in each other. Kenyans around Kilifi here, do you have this knowledge? I will not pay you. I want volunteers. Sina pesa kukulipa. If you want to grow with me, if you want to believe with us, me and Prof, come. We'll show you the way. Until next time. Or even until the next hour. Be with us. Pray for us. Work with us. Subscribe. Subscribe. By the way, subscribe. 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 And subscribe. Comment. Share this live. Tell somebody about MTV. And till next time. Asante sana.
MTV, your voice, your stories, your channel.